welcome back to the Hour Back Report, episode 20. I promise that I'm not just neglecting making a new intro that doesn't have Anthony Simons and then a video of last year's bench in it. My laptop is fried, so I literally can't change it. It's just that for now. I'm Jordan, joined by Jack and Jamie. We are back after a 1 week break because I abandoned, as Jack said before we recorded, I abandoned my post. I went down to Cincinnati, could not record. But yeah, how we doing, boys?
Doing good. Team is good. I'm feeling very confident about where things stand.
Same. Like I feel a little too confident right now about this group because they're pretty much firing on all cylinders. Jamie, how you feeling about the team?
Feeling good. I mean, 2 blowout wins the last 2 nights. Queta's doing Queta things. It's a fun time, and we got the best time of year with playoffs in like 2 weeks.
I love Neemi. Did you guys see his post game interview on the court after the game last night? They congratulated him for his 1,000th rebound. He's like, let's get to 10,000. Like, whoa, buddy. Let's get to 2 first. Let's get to 2,000.
No, he's got his eyes on the prize.
Yeah. What is the record for rebounds? What is the record for most rebounds? I feel like 10,000 is like a lot of rebounds. Career rebound. Oh, that's rebounds per game.
It's Wilt at 23,000.
Okay, so it's not as crazy as it sounded when he said it out loud.
10,000 would put him in Vucevic territory.
Dang. Okay, so never mind. You can get 10,000 rebounds, Neemi. That's definitely doable. Is that even in the top 100?
Yes, Vooch at 10,687 is 37th all time.
Oh, okay. So Neemi, congratulations ahead of time on reaching the top 50 all time for rebounds. Attaboy.
I think you should be a podcast.
Yeah,
because the hype we're giving him.
Yeah, come on down to Neemias Queta. I mean, we've been standing you all season. There was a little bit of doubt that crept in at the start of the year when everybody on the team decided they did not want to rebound and they kept getting benched in the preseason. But Neemi's been awesome, and it's kind of wild because of how good Neemias Queta's been. That sometimes it made me forget how good of a rebound Tatum is. Tatum came back and he's already the best rebounder on the roster again. Maybe some of it's a little stat padding, like a little Steven Adams bails for Russell Westbrook to grab the board, but this team rebounds like crazy. You better not miss your damn shots, because if Tatum's on the floor, Queta's on the floor, God forbid both of them are on the floor at the same time, one and done.
Can I throw a sentence out there with a fill in the blank?
Yeah.
Neemias Queta is a top what center in the NBA at this moment in time?
Top 10?
I'd say back half of the top 10, maybe 8.
Yeah. Which is nuts. Imagine if I told you that in August, that we're gonna have that conversation about Neemi.
True. Yeah, the first episode when we're it's him and Garza. This could be interesting.
I remember before the season talking about Chris Boucher should start at the 5. This is I don't want to act like we've been the big, I'm not saying we didn't like Neemi, but we thought that he was going to be the starting center for a title contending Boston Celtics team. He's been so good that they traded for Vucevic, and Vucevic had been coming off the bench. They were no, Neemi's staying in the lineup. That's awesome. It just goes to show how good he's been. Do we want to do the thought exercise of naming who's definitively better at the 5 than him? Because I feel there's really not. I mean, like we said, top 10. So it's not we're going to be doing this for a while.
Yeah, it's Jokic, it's Wemby.
I think you're 0 for 2, but that's fine. 2. I think you're 0 for 2, but that's fine.
Yeah, and then it's Embiid is still probably better, as much as we clown on Embiid. Same with
he's actually been pretty good this year overall. I mean, that first game was brutal, but
he looked like he wasn't even a basketball player anymore that first game.
Yeah.
And then once again, fun to clown on Cat, but yeah, Cat is better. And then you're getting into stat padding Bam, who is probably still better.
Is Chet a 4 or 5?
He kind of is in between, but Chet's better. Jalen Duren's better.
Yeah, Duren's better.
Şengün's probably better, even though he's terrible defensively.
Yeah, and he's become like one of the biggest like guys to hate in the league. I've noticed. Like everyone hates Alperen Şengün.
But like beyond that, I'm not that confident in anybody else.
No, I mean, like
Anthony
you'll
Davis
see it.
doesn't count at the moment because he doesn't play. We can't even like factor him into this.
I mean, like we'll see some things head to head. So like when they played Klingon killed the Celtics. But I don't know how much of that's necessarily Queta's fault.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about the whole body of work. I think like Klingon will be better going forward, but as far as like this season, which is all that matters right now, I'd say Queta's been better. Nemi would definitely be the starting center on probably 22 to 23 teams in the league right now. Like, I mean, he's better than like Gafford and Lively. I know Lively's hurt, but he's probably better than both of them.
Yeah. It's better than any of the Lakers options.
Yeah, I mean, like Clippers. I mean, Zubac is probably better than Queta as well.
Yeah, even though he's a pacer now, but
yeah. So what? We name 6.
I think a little more. I think we're at 7 or 8.
7. Diabate killed Nemi in that game before the one before Tatum's return. Absolutely killed him. So I don't know if we want to again use the head-to-head thing against him, but like we're talking about him. We're talking about Klingon guys that have beat him head-to-head, but like maybe not definitively better. I mean, Rudy Gobert's not better than him anymore. I can't get there on Rudy. Claxton maybe, but Claxton's also
weird and confusing because like he should be, but then he like disappears all the time.
Also a guy who like doesn't play basketball a whole lot. I feel like every time the Celtics play the Cavs, Jared Allen's out. But like yeah, I mean Jaren Jackson Jr. is not really a 5. He's always the tallest guy on the floor, but he's never really he plays more like a stretch 4. He also gets like 4 rebounds a game. I hate players like Jaren Jackson Jr., by the way. I just don't know how you could be 7 foot tall and get 5 rebounds a game. That's just not possible. That dude on what is it, Florida? That's like 7'9", plays like 4 seconds a game. He gets more boards than Jaren Jackson Jr. He barely plays. It just pisses me off. Like how can
he's
you
in
be
there
that
for
tall?
one purpose?
Yeah. What's his name? Olivier Ryu or something?
Yeah, I think something like that.
He's got a hockey name. I mean that's really it. I mean, who's even the 5 for Toronto? Oh, Pirtle. Well, I haven't really heard a whole lot from Pirtle this year, and the Raptors aren't necessarily a bad basketball team, so I'm not gonna. But like, yeah, we're kind of splitting hairs. Like Wendell Carter Jr. is not better than Nemi. No. Yeah, so probably like the 7 to 10 range for him, which is crazy. Is Vooch better than him? Like in a vacuum, is Nikola Vucevic a better center than Nemi? So is Nemi the starter, but also the second best center on the Celtics?
No, I don't think so, because I do think the defense with Nemi and the rim
No.
protection is more valuable.
Yeah,
obviously, Vooch is a more complete offensive player.
Yeah, Vooch 2-3 years ago, even with the defense compared to Nemi today, I think Vooch was just so much better offensively that I would probably take him. But yeah, at this point in his career, like 2-3 years ago, I would have taken Rudy over him too, but not anymore. Not anymore. 2-3 years ago, would take an AD over him, but that was when he played basketball more often than he didn't play basketball.
Which still, you never knew going into a given year. But
that's true. You never knew going into a given game.
Yeah.
Still, he just so happened to be available more often than not. I still miss Rob though. I'll watch how Nemi plays sometimes, and I'm like, damn, that could be Rob. Makes me sad. But he's played more basketball than he hasn't this year. So that's pretty cool.
Let's say how's our old friend doing?
That's a good question. Let me see what his numbers are, but I know he plays. He was hitting some threes a couple weeks ago. I'm like, what is going on here? He's like auditioning for Missoula ball. I think he's a free agent after the season too, so just something to keep in mind.
Reunion time?
He's played 55 games. He's averaging 7 points, 7 rebounds. That's very Rob Pilled. The year that he tore his meniscus, averaged 10 and 10 in 30 minutes. He's only averaging 17 minutes a game. So want to play the per 36 card with Robert Williams. He's basically been the same player he's always been. He's actually averaging more points and rebounds per 36 this year than he ever has in his career, other than 2020, 2021. So this has been your center minute. I'm kind of trying to delay glazing Tatum so much because he's been phenomenal the last handful of games, especially. Like I ran the numbers, and by ran the numbers, I mean I highlighted the games on Basketball Reference and let them run the numbers for me. But like the last 10 games, he's played at least 30 minutes in all of them. Like his shooting percentages are still kind of jacked up because it's really bogged down by that 3 for 15 against Memphis and 8 for 24 against Atlanta. He's averaging 22, 11, and 6 over those 10 games, and the Celtics are 9 and 1 in them.
That's like we were expecting.
But it's just so crazy. Like I sometimes forget that man just missed like 11 months with a torn Achilles, or 10 months with a torn Achilles.
He's wrapping up at the perfect time too, going to the playoff slot.
Yeah, he's been awesome, and he
really that Miami game in particular is like, you know, the best game of basketball he's played since coming back, and it's like, if that's what we're getting, and obviously he's not going to be that every game, but it's like I'm really happy that he looks as good as he is, and like those morons, like when I sent you that tweet that was like they're turning him into like a rebounding specialist. I'm like, what are we doing? No.
I think they're actually like using him perfectly because they're letting Jaylen take the most shots still, because I mean he's deserved that right this year. Like they're not just going to be like, hey, Jayson Tatum was our best player last year. He's coming back. He's taking the most shots. So sorry, Mr. 30 points a game. You're now going back to the corner and spotting up. But they're letting the offense flow through Tatum. A lot of shots are going to Brown. Tatum's taking the second most, and then he's just allowed to do all of the little things. And I think his shot selection overall has improved. His 3-pointers are still ridiculous. He's still like, I have to get 8 of them up. So here comes my step back 3 for no reason. But yeah, I mean, he's averaging again 22, 11, and 6 over his last 10. He's shooting 35% from 3, which is about what it was last year on 9 attempts. He's been fantastic, and I really think that there are some scared teams in the Eastern Conference come playoff time. I mean, in this stretch, we didn't get to record last week because I was in Cincinnati, but they beat OKC with Tatum. They did not Lou Dort manage him, and they beat him by 10. So maybe some teams in the West are taking notice as well.
Yeah. What I will say though, on the flip side of like, I think so much of this year, we were like, Derek White is going to be just fine once Tatum is back. And obviously, Derek White does a lot of great things that aren't scoring the basketball and shooting the basketball. The intensity, the defense, the blocked shots from a guard. Love all that stuff. The efficiency is still kind of a nightmare. And I know he's coming off a really good game last night in Milwaukee against a Milwaukee team that's terrible. Like when I saw that starting lineup, like I actually like chuckled a little to myself, being like, what do you mean this is an NBA starting lineup? Like besides Miles Turner, these aren't players. But like I am a little, especially now we're in April, the Derek White efficiency is the one thing about this team that freaks me out more than anything else, because that's how you could lose a playoff game or 2 playoff games, is if White just is completely abysmal efficiency-wise and is shooting over the course of a game like 20%, which he's been doing a lot in a lot of games this year. That's how you lose a series to the Knicks, is if Derek White shoots you out of a game.
Yeah, and I think, but the last couple of games in particular, or maybe not the last couple because none of the starters played in the fourth quarter last night. But like against Miami, Derek White took 4 shots.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Are we going to? Is it just going to be like? Does Derek White have the wherewithal to be like, I'm not going to, like, if he misses his first few, be like, all right, I'm done. We're giving it to Sam Hauser. I mean, Hauser was ridiculous against Miami, by the way. Like this, like games like that. Like I feel like every single year we play this game with Sam Hauser, where like most of the time we talk about him, we're like, wow, he fucking sucked tonight. But then at the end of the year, he shot 40% from three. Like he's shooting 39% from three. This is a bad Sam Hauser year shooting the ball. 39% from three.
Yeah.
I could not I don't think he's ever shot like that percentage in a game this year or like close to it. It's either like 75% or he's like 1 of 9. But against Miami, he was ridiculous. So does Derek White have the wherewithal to be like, it's not my night. I'm going to let somebody else do it. Like maybe it's Hauser some nights, Pritchard some nights, Baylor some nights, and then shut it off? Or is Derek White like, I'm the third guy, I got to get my 15 shots up in a playoff game or we're going to lose? I don't think Derek White's an ego guy like that. Like, I don't think he really cares that much about his shots. I think he wants to just win. And he takes great pride in doing all the effort things. Like that play that stuck out to me against the Heat, where he threw the lob to Jaylen Brown at the end of was it the third quarter? Or maybe it was the first half. And then with a second and a half, he sprints the length of the floor and contests that Pelle Larsson layup. And Pelle Larsson finger rolled it over the backboard, by the way. Did not hit the backboard at all. Like, does Derek White, again, have the wherewithal to do stuff like that? Because it's like, with the efficiency, as you mentioned, he's almost turned into Marcus Smart in the sense that he's like, I got to get my shots up, whether he's making them or not. But I don't remember there ever being a game Marcus Smart only took 4 shots.
Yeah. And I think that is like a distinction where it's like, I don't think Derek is like actively hijacking the offense in ways that Smart did. It's just, once again, we spent a lot of this year being like, especially once Tatum's back, like White should be fine. This might just be an aberration. And like now it's April 4th. So I think like we have to just accept, and that doesn't mean this is who Derek White is forever. Next year, he could be a much more efficient version of himself again. But at least this is the 2025-2026 Derek White. And that is an inefficient basketball player offensively. And I think also like he is the third guy, but especially like in the starting lineup. But I think he's lost any right to being third in shot attempts because I think Pritchard has completely overtaken that. Like I think at this point in terms of shot attempts per game, Pritchard has completely proven he should be taking more attempts than White. And at that point, White is fourth.
Yeah, and I think even on some nights he could be fifth. I mean, like we saw in Miami, again, the only took 4 shots because Hauser had it going. I think Baylor took more shots than him. Obviously, Pritchard, he's never going to take that few shots. He can play 4 minutes, he'll take 10 shots. It's just who Pritchard is. But yeah, I'm at least concerned about, because the thing with Derek that I am frustrated with, because I think now that you have Tatum and Brown back, or Tatum back and Brown, like I don't think Derek White is going to single-handedly lose you a game with his offense, but I don't think Derek White can be trusted to be out there by himself, as like Brown or Tatum have to be out there with him at all times.
Yes.
Because I think we saw, was the Minnesota game where he started the fourth quarter, Brown and Tatum were on the bench, and he took he ended like 5 possessions in a row with a shot or like a turnover, and did not make a single shot of those in those 5 possessions. And then the lead swelled from like 6 to like 14. And suddenly the game was over. They brought Tatum and Brown back, and that was moot at that point. But like, I don't think in a playoff game, unless you're up by a bunch, I don't think you can really trust Derek to run the offense. I think he's got to be out there with one of Tatum or Brown at all times. Now, the good news is in the playoffs, they're probably all going to be playing about 35 to 40 minutes a game, but just something to monitor, because I know they're going to try and at least find pockets where Tatum doesn't have to play, because they still have to be mindful of the fact that this man tore his Achilles less than a year ago. Damn, it doesn't look like it, though. It really doesn't look like it.
No, it does not.
No. He's coming.
Jamie, how do you feel about Derek? He does. He is.
I kind of agree. I feel like in the playoffs, like if you put him just out there by himself for 5 minutes, that could screw you over a little bit. I Like he does have to be out with Brown Tam, but I don't think he's gonna try to control shots or like overdo it. I feel like he has the conscious mind to know if he's not draining them, like I'm gonna rely on Pritchard or someone else. I'm not gonna kind of be a diva. I think he makes up for it too with the defense. If he's not making shots, but he's still being a pest and contributing on the other end, then they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I give him a ton of credit because I know a lot of people were giving him crap last year for like the defense kind of falling off. Like he got his blocks and everything, but it felt like a lot of the time he was kind of getting picked a little bit on defense. This year, as the season's gone on, it's like he's been aware of how inconsistent his shots been, and he's really ratcheted up the defense. And he's actually been a really good defender for like the last 3 or 4 months at this point. So we'll see how things fare come playoff time. But he's probably going to be checking Brunson in a playoff series because there's no Drew Holiday to do that this year. So it's got to be Derek. Because it's definitely not going to be Pritchard. I mean, maybe Brown will draw some of that assignment as well, but I don't really want Derek White in a mismatch on Karl Anthony Towns.
Sam Hauser can put Brunson in hell the same way he put Luka in hell.
Sam Hauser, underrated defender. I really can't believe it's. I know why people think he can't defend. Like it's obvious why people think he can't defend. But he went to UVA, man. Like he wasn't going to play. Did my Wi-Fi crap itself for a second? I refreshed for a second.
Did you see Lucas trying to like challenge the 65 game rule?
Yeah. I mean, I respect his dedication to it.
Like, that's crazy. There's no way he wins. Like, a rule's a rule. You can't just be like, oh, I was having a kid, so that's why I missed the 65 games. You should let me be fine. Like, no, you.
It's like, that's not how math works.
Right. You missed 2 games for that. So if those are the only 2 games you missed, you'd be very eligible, Mr. Doncic. Like,
I've missed a few minutes. My Wi-Fi exploded. Evergreen. What were y'all talking about?
Luka's impacts of being a dad. Or him challenging the 65 game.
Yeah, I was in Slovenia having a kid, so I should still get MVP votes. Like, no. Rule's a rule, buddy.
What about the Giannis stuff? I think
I think he did alter that rule a little bit, I think.
Oh, you cut out for a second.
Jordan, have you seen the Giannis stuff the last couple of days?
No.
Is he still with us?
Yeah. Him and the Bucks are like brawling. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. Because didn't he say he was like, I wouldn't mind an investigation? Wasn't that a couple days ago? I saw that. I was like, okay, this escalated quickly.
Because he's like, let me play basketball. And the Bucks are like, you are not allowed to play basketball. It's like the anti-Kawhi Leonard.
Giannis kind of pisses me off, man. I get, like, if he's healthy, the Bucks should let him play, especially because there's, like, a probably very strong chance he's going to get traded.
I think at this point we're at 100%.
If
Yeah. But,
if you're saying to investigate this organization, you're probably not going to give the organization this.
That's fair. That's fair. The way he's gone about his business the entire year has really pissed me off. And then now he's like, please investigate this team. What a sick fuck that man is.
I think those trade talks must be fun. They're like, instead of you investigating the team, what if we just trade you and we just call it that? Josh's like, no, I still want the FBI involved.
What do you think the odds on Kalshi are for that?
I don't know. I refuse to download the app or make an account, so I will not check that. But
we're an ethical podcast.
We are an ethical podcast. We donate our money to other gambling platforms. But yeah. I missed like 5 minutes because my Wi-Fi was being an asshole. So I have no idea. I have no idea where I am at this point.
But we got the buzzwords. We got Luka being a dad and investigating the Bucks.
They do need to change that rule, I think, or at least add some like bylaw, like some fine print to it. Because, like, okay, so Anthony Edwards, if he played every game, like every remaining game this year, will have appeared in 65 games, but he played like 6 minutes in one of these games and then left with like a hamstring injury. So, like, you have to play at least 20 minutes for it to count as a game played, like as far as awards go. So he would still appear in 65 games, but he won't be eligible for any awards or all NBA teams or anything like that because he only played 6 minutes in a game, which I think is ridiculous because it's clearly not like a load managing thing. Like, he got hurt in the game. It's not his fault. Yeah. Adam Silver, man. Maybe they should let Anthony Edwards play in a tournament to determine if he can win an award this year.
And they should combine his stats with his stats last year to determine, who really earns it.
Yeah. But you do like a rolling 3-year average on Anthony Edwards, and you're like, all right, he's averaged 68 games or whatever the last 3 years. He can be all NBA second team. Or maybe you just lower the rule to 60. I don't know. I mean, 2/3 or 3/4 of the year is still most of the season. I understand why the rule's in place, but it's like, I don't know, some guys just get hurt. It doesn't, like, it should be literally about resting guys. If you're actually injured and you play 60 games and you're like clearly the best player in the league for those 60 games, like, why can't you be on the all NBA third team?
Yeah, and that's up to the voters to decide, honestly. And like, I think, they should have that kind of freedom to make that judgment call as opposed to kind of imposing on it. Like, I understood why they did it because I understand load management and all that stuff. Like, I get where the league was coming from, but I think it's an overcorrection.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll change anything.
I mean, the correct approach, but they'd never do it because you'd lose TV money and revenue money, and even just like tickets. It's just to shorten the season. If you shorten the season, guys won't rest as much. Teams won't be able to tank as much because there's less games to tank. And you can eliminate the need for having any back-to-backs, which is the built-in excuse to load manage. If you made this a 70-game season, guys would play, barring injury, almost all of the 70 games. Like, I just think that's, like, I don't see why, and I know it's money is why we're not doing that. But if we actually want to solve the root problems at the NBA, just shorten the season.
And I feel like 70 isn't bad. That's not like a major.
Yeah, I'm not saying play 50. Like, let's just bring it down to 70, cut 12 games. We can start it a little later or something and then get rid of all the back-to-backs, and we can be fine. Guys will play.
Sure.
I'm trying to do the math here on how many back-to-backs Celtics have played this year.
And with that as well, it's like, if you do that, there's less games. You're in the playoff picture for a longer stretch of the season. And so teams have less of an excuse to kind of throw in the towel. Like, when teams talk, like when people complain about tanking, I'm way less mad at like the Sixers blatant tanking back in the Sam Hinkie era. Like, because you know what? They had a goal, and that goal is to lose. And you know what?
They did it well.
I have to respect it. What like drives me is insane. It's like a couple of years ago when the Mavs shut down Luka and Kyrie and said, we're not even going to try. Like, because we'd rather have the better chance of a lottery pick. Like, that drives me insane. Like, that is completely against the spirit of the sport. You can be bad. I'm fine with you being bad, but don't like just like quit like that and say we're not going to play Luka and Kyrie because we want a better draft pick. Like, that like set me off.
If my math is correct, the Celtics have played 12 back-to-backs this year. So quite literally, if you just eliminated the back-to-backs, you get to a 70-game season.
Yeah.
And you can put it over the course of the full year still. Keep it the same duration and start the playoffs in the third week or second week of April. Yeah, and that gets you down to 70. Especially for older stars too, because like you see it with like LeBron, and I mean to a lesser degree because he wasn't really a star by the time he was actually resting in the second night of back to back. But like Al Horford missed a ton of games over the last handful of seasons because of back to backs, and like that he otherwise would have played. And it's not like Al doesn't take care of his body; he's just old.
Or like Joel Embiid doesn't play back to backs, and he never has. Like that's just what you're getting into with Embiid. Or Zion, or guys like that. And yeah, with Embiid and Zion, it's more conditioning than anything else with a lot of those guys. But still, if you get rid of it, you're going to get those guys who draw people to the games. Because I get it. Like, one of the serious problems with the NBA that I do feel for is like these games are expensive, especially in cities like Boston and New York and LA and these big markets. Like, yeah, if you're going to a game in Memphis, you can get in pretty much whenever. But if you're in these big markets, tickets even for like last row of the balcony can be like over $100 per ticket. So you're a family of 4, you're bringing your kids, you want to see LeBron, you want to see Steph, you want to see these guys, and then they're not even playing, and like you're watching Gary Payton III. Like, that sucks. And like I do feel for people on that. And that's not the players' faults ultimately. Like, I get it. You got to do what you got to do to play the meaningful basketball later in the year. But if you just got rid of these back-to-backs and you played less games, there's a better likelihood people are going to see these guys, and it's a better product when the stars are playing every game.
Yeah, and these guys aren't going to sit out. Like there's like the sports science behind it all too. Like I know people will talk about how the game is so different back in my day. Like the older generations, they do it with baseball and like pitchers innings and stuff. But like there is a lot to be said about the fact that guys like you're telling me somebody like LeBron is not the ultimate competitor. You're telling me that he just doesn't feel like playing basketball Sunday? I mean, maybe he does. He's 42 years old. So, like, maybe at this point in his career, there's days he's just like, I don't want to play today. But like those are like pretty much baked into the schedule. But for like some people, like you said, because it's such an expense, like you take your family of 4, that's like half a paycheck to go get parking, buy food. God forbid you buy any souvenirs, and then obviously the tickets. And then you end up watching, like, I mean, I don't know if yeah, like you said, Gary Payton III. Like that would drive me nuts. I want to watch Steph, and I'm getting Brandon Podziemski 40 shots. Like, absolutely miss me with that. But yeah, like these are basically baked into the schedule at this point. You know that certain guys are going to sit at least 12 games, and then God forbid they do get hurt. And then like we're talking this being a massive financial commitment. And I think the players too, like you're telling me that if you wanted to just basically prorate contract is, so like, okay, I think what the highest paid player in the league gets like $65 million a year.
Yeah.
So if you want to scale that down to what it would be over 70 games, that's still like what? Let me I'm not gonna just
a lot of money.
Here. I'm just gonna I wanna actually get this right. 65 mil for 80 games. So divide that by 82 and then just multiply it by 70. That is $55.5 million. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I think they would be all right with being like, okay, so we'll just scale back what a max contract is. Maybe you just grandfather in the deals that are currently out. Because I mean, yeah, I think they'll be okay with that. I think I don't know who the next like super max player is. It's going to be Cade. I don't think he already got an extension, so I don't know. Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg will be okay making $55.5 million a year in 2030. I think he'll be fine.
And the cap will only continue to go up no matter what. Like, it's not like the cap will stay solid. So, yeah, I just think you have to do that and they won't is the thing, because, like, they need that TV money above all else. But it's like, if we want to address the root problems of the NBA, everyone talks about the load management, everyone talks about the tanking, everyone talks about all these things. It's like, if we just shorten the season, we can alleviate so much of these problems. And like, we want to like overcomplicate it, and it's like that's how we do it. Like, in every other sport you don't have these issues, but in the NBA you do, and this is how you solve them.
Make the play-in tournament a best of 3. Shorten the regular season, make the play-in tournament a best of 3. 7 versus 10 best of 3. 8 versus 9 best of 3. There you go, Adam Silver. I just threw you a bone. I gave you a tournament.
That would be so gross. That would be like
awful.
The least ethical basketball ever.
It'd be so bad. But then the Chicago Bulls get 3 playoff games instead of 1. So Oh, this year they're getting 0, right? Because they're not even in a top 10 team.
So right now they would take that, given.
Yeah, where are they in the standings?
They'd be like, can we implement that in the next 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah,
They've
they're
been
done.
mathematically
They're in 12th,
eliminated.
and they're 11 games out, so they're not making that up.
Yeah. But I mean, at least this year, if you want to play that card, I mean, the Heat and the Raptors are only separated by 3 games, so it's not as gross this year. That'd actually probably be a decent series.
On the flip side, though, if I had to watch this Golden State team get like boat raced by Devin Booker for 2 games,
I would actually take great pride in that. I would enjoy the hell out of that.
Dylan Brooks dropping 65 in game 2 as the confetti falls.
Makes like 30 free throws.
God, every time I think of outrageous sports moments, I have to remember when the Marco Bellinelli shot to send it to OT, they dropped confetti and then lost the game.
That's a moment that will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
No, it'll be the last moment I remember before I die. Whenever that is, which could be today with the lobster poutine that I'm going to be consuming at Fenway Park.
That's why we're recording today. So if you like pass away in the next 6 hours, you can at least, this could be like your goodbye episode to the world.
Yeah. Do I do a heartfelt goodbye preemptively at the end of the episode?
You have to walk into Fenway with like a swagger, be like, guys, this might be the last time, but we're gonna go out on top.
Start crying.
You're in line at the concession stands. Is this guy okay?
Just bawling my eyes out. Oh man.
Just like I watched Caleb Durbin get a hit yesterday, and I'm still emotional about it.
I called Caleb Durbin getting a hit yesterday. Somebody said that I should have done it a week ago. I'm like, well, if I did it a week ago, I would have been wrong. I think my new thing is going to be when I go to games, instead of like chirping players, I'm just going to start like saying facts that are like kind of rude. Like for me, like in Cincinnati, I kept yelling that Caleb Durbin's 5'6" because he is. Like nobody can argue with me that he's 5'6", you know? Like it's an insult, or at least the tone of my voice made it an insult. But like you can't be like, that's not true. It is. I could say anybody sucks. It just might not be true. But if I find something about them that is true but insulting, they can't argue with me.
True.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Yesterday when he got that hit, I sent in one of my group chats. I said, I don't know, Jim. Maybe he is 5'7". So he got an inch of height because he drove in a run. So congrats, Caleb Durbin, on the Celtics podcast for your first Sox hit.
If he gets a homer, how many inches does a homer get him? Does that get him to 6 feet, or is that like
no? Well, Altuve's 5'8", right? Or is he 5'7"?
He's small. I think he's
Altuve's
5'6" or 5'7".
Yeah, Altuve's a little man. I'll let him be the same height as Altuve if he homers. I already have to eat a shoe if he hits 20 of them. I might eat a shoe.
You have to eat a shoe?
Hits. Yeah, I said it on Pesky before the season started. If he hits 20 home runs, I will eat a shoe.
Like any sauce, you're just going straight leather.
Well, I gotta find out the science of it. Like, I'm sure that you can cook something down enough. I probably have to like blend that shit. It'd be gross.
That would be a hell of a live stream.
I mean, if the lobster doesn't kill you, that definitely will.
That's when we get Peyton Tolley and Connolly Early joint interview, is while you eat the shoe.
Just background text. Hey, how's Major League Life going?
Well, I think what I gotta do, if push came to shove and I actually had to do that, we gotta get Caleb Durbin on the show, right? Like he's gotta witness me eat the shoe for him hitting 20 home runs, right? Like that's gotta be.
Is it 20 home runs this season or
yeah.
any? Okay. So if he gets to like 19 this year and 22 next year, you're completely shoe free.
Yeah, I'm shoe free. I saw somebody post that as like one of their hot takes for the year, and I'm like, brother, if he hits 20 home runs in his Sox career, that might be pretty crazy. I will add the caveat here, not because I want to eat the shoe by any means. Like that's disgusting. I'll fucking die. I will say, if he hits 19 in the regular season and hits a home run in the playoffs, I will count that So 20 home runs in the 2026 calendar year.
Okay.
I will allow it. I will count it. So I will not hold
That's
that against him. I am a man of my word. I will not
If he
take any.
hits 14 in the regular season and 6 on his way to the World Series.
Jordan's gonna be the happiest person in New England with that 6 home runs to be like walk off in Game 2 of the World Series.
I'm not gonna lie. If he does that, I might eat both shoes. And but the first one is my punishment. The second one is my reward for that home run output. How many home runs did Randy Arozarena hit in the 2020 playoffs? Because wasn't that the record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Would you have to eat both shoes at once, or do you get like a half an hour to recharge and like digest?
Well, I think we got to make sure that it doesn't kill me first. I mean, it's gonna let's be honest, it's a shoe. It's gonna take me a while to consume the entire thing.
9 innings, 9 beers, 9 shoes.
I gotta
Just
eat
goes
9
shoelace
shoes.
by inning.
I gotta eat 9 shoes instead of 9 hot dogs. Or do we add the shoes too? So now it's the 999 in 9. So
You might have to
9
fast
dogs
for
and
like
9 shoes.
you might have to fast for like 3 weeks.
How many calories are in a shoe?
I don't know if the science is out on that one yet. You might have to.
Do we Google it? I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna see if somebody's done the science on this. By the way, Randy hit 10 home runs in the 2020 playoffs. So
That's stupid. He
he
was so good. Like, I really wanted him to win that. As much as I can't stand the Rays and their devil magic, like if any one player has deserved a World Series based on their performance in a postseason, it was that guy that year.
I'm going to use the AI overview here, okay? Shoes are
Famously
not
never wrong.
It's just the way this starts that drew me to this. Shoes are not considered food and have no nutritional value, but they contain significant latent chemical energy. Based on hydrocarbon polymers, one classic Croc, which is about 400 grams, could have roughly 3,600 calories. Other materials like leather are not digestible. So I will have to eat a Croc, I suppose.
Is it just a plain Croc? Are you putting the beads in? Like we have to.
I guess we'll
Any
we'll cross
specific design? Like you're gonna get like the Lightning McQueen Crocs?
I'll have to buy I cannot eat a shoe I've worn, right? So I'll have to.
I would hope that's where you draw the line with this.
Yeah.
Just going through your closet, right? Which one do you think I can digest?
Which one seems tastiest?
A leather shoe has extremely low, negligible, or near zero digestible calories. So I mean, I'll die, but I'll be, you
could still have the beach bod after.
it'll have the same sort of caloric effect on my body as like a cucumber.
The FBI agent watching your computer right now is like, what is happening?
Yeah, Cash Patel's like, why are we Googling how many calories are in a shoe? Why are we doing this?
At least you can put Crocs down the episode highlights. You can get that buzzword.
I don't even want to, I can't read what this is. People also ask. There is an array of questions here for what people also are asking.
I bet you there's a fun Reddit page with great comments.
Oh my God, here we go. There is a Reddit post from 13 years ago. What is the nutritional value of a shoe? Somebody asked what the nutritional value of a shoe is.
Please tell me what the first comment is.
All right, I'm going to read the post first. It's short, so we'll keep it here. The Celtics have 50 wins, by the way. Joe Mazzulla's the tied for the third most 50-win seasons ever for the Celtics.
Yeah, he might be the best coach in the history of basketball when all is said and done, like unironically.
I mean, he's young enough to do it for a long enough time.
Right. No, granted, he's enough of a weirdo where he could just be like, I'm retiring at like a random point.
He's like
But-
McVay.
Yeah.
Well, McVay hasn't retired yet, but he's been like
They're
floating
close
it
friends,
for 5
which like
years.
I didn't know until like an NFL playoff game where they were talking about the close friendship between McVay and Missoula, and I'm like, oh, okay. I guess like Missoula got McVay big into like martial arts and stuff, which makes so much sense.
That checks out so well. But yeah, I think now he's only behind Red Auerbach. And do we have to change the name to the Missoula Report if he passes Red Auerbach in 50-win seasons? Red's got 8. Tommy Heinsohn's got 5.
When he passes him in titles, we have to.
Yeah.
Sure.
I might personally build the Joe Missoula statue if he passes Red in rings.
He would not show up to his own statue unveiling.
No, he'd actually no, he would, but he would like destroy it. He'd look me dead in the face and say this is stupid and then destroy it without breaking his serial killer like stoic face. And I would have to respect it. Like all that blood, sweat, and tears to build that statue. I would actually be honored if he would take like a wrecking ball to it. And by a wrecking ball, I mean his foot, because he would beat that to death with his own like hands and feet. All right, back to the shoe.
Speaking of feet.
Speaking of feet.
This podcast is sponsored by Feet Finder.
That should be the title of the episode. Joe's face. Speaking of feet episode.
Speaking of meat, oh my god. What is the nutritional value of a shoe? I am simply asking because eating the shoe has been a movie and TV cliche for years, and it has bugged me for a while.
I didn't know that was the thing.
I don't think eating a shoe has been a movie and TV cliche for years. I just think a lot of directors are weird about feet, and they just are obsessed with feet, or at least Dan Schneider was. There's a buzzword for the episode, not the one I was expecting before we were started, but anyway. Another aspect I'm curious about is what is when would that ever seem like a better idea than just starving? I also want to know what would happen a few hours after ingesting the shoe. If you've ever been in this situation, feel free to tell us about the taste, texture, and other general feelings towards eating a shoe. Top comment says go to bed.
I just love how one of the questions, when is this better than starving? Like, I think that's never.
I actually think that might be the best. Like, that's actually a great question. When would this ever be the better choice than just starving to death?
Well, if it's crock.
Yeah, if it's a crock, you could do it for 3,600 calories. That is crazy. Anyway. There's absolutely no nutrition. There's only 4 comments, so we may as well read them all. There is absolutely no nutritional value in a shoe, but it's better than starving. Clearly not if it's leather, because it will kill you. This guy's username is Quasi Frodo. He made this comment 14 years ago. I wonder if he's a listener, he's going to be like, or she. I don't want to assume. Assuming that the upper is purely made of leather, there would be some nutritional value, but not a ton. No, there wouldn't be. We just read this on Google. We just Googled this. The members of the Donner Party that did not eat human flesh are known to have eaten leather belts, and it would not be surprising to learn they ate shoes as well. In the days before cheaply available rubber, some shoes had hardened leather soles as well. Of course, moccasins are all. I feel like I've learned a lot today. And then there's a comment that says,
I guess if the leather is untanned, that's edible. You can boil it. But if it's tanned leather, it like has too many chemicals. And in shoes, it's always going to be tanned, so you would die.
There is also a comment. This is the 4th one. This is check this woman's book. I clicked the link. I did the dangerous thing of clicking the link, but it is to a YouTube video. I don't know if this person actually thought that this was real or not, because it is The Onion that posted this video in 2009. Good Lord. You're in the depths of hell. Somebody commented on this video 6 years ago. What was
Speaking
going
of
on
the
there?
depths of hell, some NBA reporters, sometimes they go to a press conference and they get asked if they're going to end up there.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. And we didn't name drop him, but we brought it all back to him. Do we want to talk about him?
I mean,
Well,
at this
what
point,
I did think was funny because I saw a tweet. It was like, this is a good point. It's like, if Ant had done all this, like, it wouldn't have been, like, obviously it would have been a big deal, but, like, he wouldn't have gotten waived. Like, it would have been like, why are you being weird, Ant? Like, who is the worst player who could go on this Jaden Ivey run and still be fine?
Well, I think the worst player and could get away with it is probably, and it's only because he's LeBron's son. It's Bronny. But other like normies that are not, related to arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. Huh. That's a great question. I will say though, Jaden Ivey's clearly not well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like this is not to diminish what he has said, because obviously repugnant behavior, and like they hated him in Chicago. They also hated him in Detroit. I don't remember the reporter's name, but did talk about how it was like, we're going to basically give him some grace this year and be like, he's clearly like not handling the fact he just got traded very well. And we'll, like, if they bring him back, cause he was an RFA, they bring him back, we'll like have like this conversation with him about like how he needs to not like be a prick. But like, he's clearly not well, and I really do hope he gets the help he needs, whether it be, psychological or whatever, spiritual, however it may be. But like, we're talking about a guy who wrecked his knee, then was basically shut down for the year, then told the Bulls that Jesus healed his knee. They did an MRI and they're like, you're never playing for us again, and then waived him. So again, I hope Jaden Ivey gets the help he needs. And obviously the stuff he said, not okay.
Yeah, and I also hope that certain running backs stop retweeting.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost reminding me a little bit of when this is going to be a chicken or the egg moment, but when like Kyrie and Marcus Stroman became like Twitter best friends because of that anti-Semitic movie that I don't remember which one of them.
Kyrie
was the first. And then Stroman jumped on board with them. Yeah, please stop doing that. I don't know if you guys know who Carson Breber is. He does Nerd Sesh, ASU alum, # Sun Devils. Or actually, I don't know if he went to ASU. I think he did. I know that the guy he does it with did. But he posted a video on it, and basically he hit the nail on the head. I don't want to misquote him, so I'm just going to say he posted a very good video on it. So if you can find it, thumbs up. Really good video. But yeah. Anyway, there's our Jaden Ivey minute. Knew that was coming up at some point. Because
Doc Rivers, a Hall of Famer. I feel like we should also touch on that.
I was kind of surprised by that.
It's
He's
weird
so
because
loved in the league is the thing. Like, the NBA loves Doc, even if Doc is kind of painfully mediocre at his job. Like, he's not a terrible coach. Like, when people act like Doc is like the worst coach ever, he's not. I do think he's an above average, like, vibes guy. Like, I think he's good at handling egos in a locker room. Definitely a below average X's and O's coach. Does not make in-game adjustments whatsoever. And I know a lot of people kind of retroactively give Tibbs a ton of credit for like that 08 run. And obviously I think having Tibbs on the staff was huge, but I do think, Doc does deserve his credit, but still it's like, I don't know if he's a Hall of Fame. It's one title. Like, it's weird to me that Casey Jones, if we were like talking about like Celtics coaches, isn't in the Hall of Fame, as he is as a player, but he's not in as a coach. And it's like, to me, like, I don't know how Casey Jones isn't in as a coach, but Doc Rivers is in as a coach.
Yeah. Like, I could see it more if he had won a second title during the
Yeah, especially with the Clippers or something, if it worked out. But
it's tough because he's 6th all time in wins as a head
It's
coach.
like all coaches.
And like, yeah, NBA history. And everybody, or like the only person in the top 13 that's not in the Hall of Fame is Doc and Rick Carlisle, who's still active. So I mean, it's tough because he's 8 wins shy of 1,200 for his career. So like, it's not like he's still coaching? Yeah, he's still the Bucks coach.
yeah,
no?
he's with the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that he'll probably finish. He'll probably get to 1,200 wins, and then probably ride off into the sunset.
I don't
But
know. Do you think he's gonna get a job? Because I don't think the Bucks keep him, especially if they can Giannis. I think they're gonna try and reset. Will another team give Doc an opportunity after this year? Is, I guess, the $1 million question here.
100%, a bad team will. A bad team will give him give him a shot. Well, I mean, I think a lot can be said. I mean, like, okay, so I'm trying to think of maybe it's not a fair comparison because he genuinely was like one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Like, there's no arguing. I mean, I guess the PED thing is different. It adds some nuance to the conversation, but like A-Rod, clearly one of the best players of all time. 2016, he was cooked. There was nothing about him that was redeeming as a player. He stunk. He was old, obviously, whatever. When he got cut by the Yankees, the Marlins wanted him. Like, I'm pretty sure the team president was like, yeah, we called A-Rod. We were like, please come and hit your 700 home run for the Marlins. I think a team would hire Doc Rivers. Now, would Doc Rivers want to go and coach the Kings?
The well, Pelicans, yeah, they could do it because they're the
Pelicans. Were the Pelicans I think the Pelicans would hire him for a year. I don't know. I mean, maybe it'd be probably more likely a team on the bubble that's like, we need an established head coach that can like kind of get us over the hump. But like, can Doc get you over the hump? Probably not.
And it's like, at least with A-Rod though, like seeing A-Rod hit his 700th home run, especially when you're the Marlins and no one shows up to your games, that might make someone show up to your game, especially when he's from the area.
Yeah.
Versus, like, no one's going to come to the Pelicans game to see Doc Rivers stand next to the court. Like, that's not raw. So, like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like this might be it.
He's just so close to 1,200 wins, and like, again, not to make the comparison even more like a direct, but like 1,200 wins, he'd only be the 6th coach to ever do it. Like, that is historic. I mean, Rick Carlisle maybe could. He's at 1,011, so we're like, he's like 4 more years away from really realistically having a shot at getting there. And it's not like he's a spring chicken either, but. You know, it is a rare feat. I do wonder if a team would be willing to do it. But then again, Phil Jackson got to 1,155 and never got another job after the Lakers. But maybe that was like really like a true retirement from coaching as opposed to not having an opportunity somewhere else. But it really bottomed out for him with the Lakers. So who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I think Doc deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, though. I mean, again, sixth all time in wins and has a ring. Like, Rick Carlisle will be in the Hall of Fame. So you're telling me Doc Rivers is the only one in the top 13 wins all time for coaches that isn't a Hall of Famer? That feels a little unfair.
Yeah. Amari, on the other hand.
I wish I could have appreciated Amari Stoudemire's career more. But, like, the tail end of it, he was on the Knicks and Heat. Yeah. When was I going to enjoy Amari playing basketball? He also was not, like, I thought he had a better Knicks career than he did.
Yeah.
Like, he was not a good Knick at all.
No.
Well,
like, that first year was fine. Well, his first year he was good. He averaged 18 and 8, and that was with Melo. So like, he's not going to score as much.
First year he averaged 25.
Oh shoot, sorry. I did miss that. My bad. I was looking at 2011-12 as his first year. So he averaged 25 and 8. Then he averaged 18 and 8. And then after that, those last 2.5 years, it was not pretty. He averaged 14-5, then 12-5, then 12-7, and then got traded to Dallas, where he was not good for them either. I guess he was okay. He was a backup. He averaged 11-4 off the bench. And then that 52 game stretch with the Heat, he averaged 6-4. And he was out of the league. Injuries killed that man. But this is a league where everyone's in the Hall of Fame. Like Steve Kerr's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, people already are like, it always drives me insane when people are like, Derrick Rose is going to be the first MVP not in the Hall of Fame. Of course he's getting in the Hall of Fame. We might get in the Hall of Fame as contributors. Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, 1,000% Derrick Rose is getting in when people do that thing. And like, yeah, would Derrick Rose be a Hall of Famer in the Baseball Hall of Fame, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? No. He might not even last through the first ballot in either of those sports, or be on the short list in the Pro Football ballot. But like in the Basketball Hall of Fame, he's getting in first ballot probably when all said and done. It's like everybody gets in.
Can we record from the induction ceremony?
Yeah, do we think we get credentialed for the Derrick Rose Hall of Fame speech? I mean, I've never seen somebody who like 100% doesn't deserve the PR like that he gets such great PR for like 1 year ever. Like people talk about the way that the 08 Celtics like milked the shit out of that title, but like they won a title. Like you can't, I mean, Derrick Rose won MVP, so I don't want to be like, you can take his MVP away, but you can't take the finals away. But like, that's like a brotherhood moment. And they don't like, Paul Pierce isn't just like, I won the title in 08. Like when he's by himself, like him and KG will be like, remember that game in 08 when like the year we won the title, like shit like that. And
it's also like,
because
if things went a little better, the Celtics do three-peat. Like,
yeah.
And I understand it didn't happen, but like there's plenty of timelines where they win 3 in a row, 08, 09, 10. If a couple
I mean, KG tore his meniscus year 2, so like that, they were cooked from there. Like Glenn Davis was their starting 4. I think Brian Scalabrine averaged like 20 minutes a game in that Eastern Conference semifinals against Orlando.
Oh yeah, no. In 09, they almost definitely do go back to back if KG's healthy. Like obviously the Lakers were going to be tough, but I think they definitely win 09, and then 10 you have the Perkins injury and you just have some things go bad for them in that series. But that was a very evenly matched series. It's like they could totally have three-peated. So I think that's a little different versus like Derrick Rose never got to the finals. He never I don't know. It's just like he gets all the, like when Reggie Miller was like, it's Derrick Rose and LeBron battling every year for 5 years. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Derrick Rose wasn't even the best player in the NBA the year he won MVP.
He might not have been top 3 or 4.
If we're basing it, okay, I'm only going to use one advanced metric here. If we're basing it off win shares, he was 4th behind LeBron, Dwight Howard, and Chris Paul.
Yeah, and you could make the case that year Durant may have been better than him, and that Kobe could have still been better than him at that point in time. So like and I would agree. I think, those 3 guys probably were as well. So it's like, once again, and that's not to say he's not a great player. He was a great player, but like people act like he was like, the best to ever do it. And like, he had a really nice year.
Among the players who got MVP votes that year, Derrick Rose was 6th in points per game. And that was the only reason to vote for him, other than the fact the Bulls got the 1 seed. It would have been very similar to like if Isaiah Thomas won MVP in 2016. Was it 16-17 that his last year of the Celtics?
Isaiah averaged more points.
And I would argue he was a better player in general. I mean, he carried a much worse team. Like I don't want to act like that Bulls team was like elite. But like the 2010-11 Bulls had Joakim Noah, who was a defensive player of the year candidate. Carlos Boozer was hardly bad. Luol Deng was a really good 3-and-D guy. at the time, Taj Gibson wasn't 74 years old and like a solid actual rotational big. Like that was a decent team with Tibbs at the helm. Or was that Vinny Del Negro? Was that the last year of Vinny? No, it was Tibbs.
No, it was Tibbs.
Yeah, because Tibbs killed Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Tibbs
and
killed
Kyle
Derrick
Korver
Rose, but
was on that team. So.
And Kyle Korver famously took the shot after Derrick Rose's knee exploded. And
Brian
John
Scalabrine.
Lucas. And Brian Scalabrine was on the team. Brian Scalabrine was on that team. I feel like nobody ever asks Scal about that. Not about his Bulls tenure in general. I think a lot of people forgot he played for the Bulls. But like nobody asked him. Like he was there for Derrick Rose's ACL tear, but nobody actually asks him about it. Maybe people in Boston just don't care. I didn't mean that in like a in like a we don't care that Derrick Rose tore his ACL kind of way. In like a we don't really care about what Brian Scalabrine's experience in Chicago was like kind of way.
Just phase it out.
But yeah, Derrick Rose gets ridiculous PR, and I don't think he necessarily deserves it. But he'll be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Anyone who averages more than 15 points a game is probably getting in the Hall of Fame.
Might not even be that. Like, I think we're gonna see some silly ones over the years.
Yeah, like Horford's gonna. I mean, Horford's not a silly one. He is. The thing is, since they call it the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, college counts, international counts.
So he's a 3-time champ. Like Joakim Noah will probably get in the Hall too. Or maybe he wasn't. Was he not good for long enough? But he won 2 Defensive Player of the Years and was a 2-time champ in college too.
Right. Well, and that's where I think it does get weird because like if we are gonna like weigh college stuff, it's like I know Christian Laettner's in as like part of the dream team, but like should Christian Laettner be a Hall of Famer? Because it's like you look at the college stuff and then like he wasn't like a terrible NBA player. It's like, you know, like yet he was on the dream team. He has a gold medal. It's like I feel like there's a legitimate based on the standards we've made that Christian Laettner should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
I mean, when you put it like that,
it's crazy. And then we'll have honest to God conversations about whether guys in Major League Baseball with 60 WAR don't belong.
Oh yeah. Kenny Lofton fell off the ballot on the first attempt, but like we're having the Christian Laettner conversation.
Ridiculous, man. Like Steve Kerr is in the Hall of Fame. We won like 5 rings, right? So I mean, it makes sense that like they're like, oh, look at all the winning he did. But like Steve Kerr, I mean, Robert Ory's in the Hall of Fame, right? Or am I making that up? I might be lying on the internet.
Sure.
But like, we're talking about a dude who was like a solid basketball player who had a few big shots and won a ton of rings. He's
not in. He's
not in the Hall. That's ridiculous. If Steve Kerr's in the Hall of Fame, why isn't Robert Ory in the Hall of Fame? I mean, Kerr is higher up on the all-time three-pointers list, so maybe just by ranking it, I don't know. Did Kerr have a better career than I thought? I mean, Kerr averaged 6 points a game.
That's 2 threes.
He is the all-time leader in three-point percentage. So I guess he deserves it. He's 1,600. Oh, that's attempts. He's 725 career threes.
Damn.
Why is that man in the Hall? Craziness. This man's averaged 6 points a game in his career. And named his son Nick, by the way. Unbelievable. Anyway. Oh, shoot. I closed the Celtics schedule again. Do we have any other thoughts? Any other complaints about the league that we wanna float before? Rudy Gobert is going to be in the Hall of Fame, by the way, but he is also a full-time D-boy, so that makes sense.
I feel like Blake Griffin.
Who is the most outrageous? Well, he's not been out of the league long enough, right? Or do they not do the 5-year rule in the NBA?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
It actually upsets me almost as much that Smart didn't get a ring, that Blake Griffin didn't get a ring. I loved Blake. I loved him. One of the funniest dudes ever. He could tell me some traumatic news and I'd find it funny. Like about me, obviously. I'm not going to laugh if he's telling me a traumatic story about himself. That'd be really mean. But he could be like, you have 6 weeks to live, and I find that hysterical coming out of his mouth. Because I'm operating under the assumption that I have a mere 6 hours left to live.
After you've had the shoe.
No, the poutine. I don't even know if I'll make it, if I'll live long
Shootine.
enough to have the shootine. Lobster shootine. Instead of the clam chowder, it's just fucking a crock.
Drizzled crock.
Disgusting. Who is the like worst player in the NBA right now that might get in the Hall of Fame, do we think?
That's currently in the NBA.
Well, I think one of the dudes in the league that has like the emptiest stats ever is DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
But he's like
Probably.
12th all time in points. Gonna get into the Hall. Like worst player in the league that's gonna get in the Hall. Like, does Mike Conley have enough of a resume to get in? Probably not. Not without a
Highest
ring.
paid player ever.
Yeah, so there's that. I mean, honestly, like Al Horford probably has the worst resume in the NBA of somebody that'll get into the Hall of Fame, because I think even DeRozan made more All-Star teams. So, and obviously he's 25,000 points guy, but
Could like a DeAndre Jordan sneak his way in?
did he win? He won a Defensive Player of the Year, yeah, one.
Yeah, didn't he win one at least?
I'd vote for him on the sheer fact that he just completely
No, he
blue-balled
never
the Dallas
did.
Mavericks.
2-time first team All Defense, 3-time first team All NBA, which is nuts. I remember that year he beat both Boogie and I forget who the other guy was, and everyone lost their minds.
Would have been
He
like
has a
Marc
ring.
Gasol, maybe.
Yeah, he has a ring in Denver. 1-time All-Star, 2-time rebounding champ. He has more All NBA teams than All-Star appearances. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, that's
There's a
crazy.
chance.
Well, if we're gonna bring up DeAndre Jordan, I feel like Andre Drummond is in the conversation too.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I think he made a couple of All-Star teams because he was the best player on a really bad Pistons team. He was averaging like 18 and 14 a game. Like he was putting up some empty stats. So maybe Drummond, yeah, DeAndre Jordan. Anybody who's won an award in the NBA is on the has a
Knocking
real
on
shot.
the door of greatness.
I mean, Steve Kerr won 0 awards. He just won a few rings and made a lot of threes at a high percentage. But like, I don't know. It's funny because like we gave Derek White crap early in the episode for his bad efficiencies. Like, if he wins a second ring, is he a Hall of Famer?
It's possible.
Like, he's already got a
Luke
resume.
Cornett wins 5 rings between Boston and San Antonio and then back to Boston.
First ballot.
I would have voted for him before he won a ring. Love Luke Cornett. Still sad.
We
he's not
definitely
here.
would get credentials to the Cornett Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, because they wouldn't bring in like any like actual reporters. They'd be like, we got to make this the most Luke Cornett introduction of all time. So it's just going to be a bunch of randos. Ridiculous. But it'll be like a rave in the crowd. So, but yeah. Any other ridiculous players that might get into the Hall of Fame?
Luka Garza.
Luka Garza. He's been awesome, and it pisses me off. It makes me mad. Vooch. I mean, Drew's going to get into the Hall of Fame. He's not a bad player, though. He was never a bad player.
Yeah.
What about Porzingis?
I don't
I feel like
think
he'll have like a weird case. Like there'll be a weird discussion around that. You know what I mean?
I mean, because like if you think about it, I mean, he doesn't have the MVP, but like how different is his NBA career? Like he has a ring. How different is his NBA career from Derrick Rose? Especially including off the court stuff.
he's tall D Rose.
True.
Yeah. Not to mention that Kristaps Porzingis has never publicly said, "I don't know what consent is." Derrick Rose did that.
That does help. That does help.
Crazy that man gets the PR tour of a lifetime. by the way.
The NBA
Ridiculous.
just kind of like lets that slide in a way, like the others, like every sport has its problems with that kind of stuff, but like the NBA is the worst offender of like.
I'd still say hockey.
Well, yeah,
Hockey
like,
turns a blind eye to like every. I mean, like Patrick Kane had like a ton of stuff. Austin Matthews has had a couple of things. The only time they've ever like put their foot down was what's that prospect that the Bruins signed for like 5 minutes, and then everyone was like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" Was his name Mitchell Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even this year, like the fact that Carter Hart immediately got signed by the Knights is crazy because
Jonathan Taves is back in the NHL.
But like, I guess of the sports that Americans care about, the NBA is really bad.
We care every Olympics and
we care about Tuskegee.
Nations. We do care about Tuskegee. America will get behind hockey once Tuskegee hits major.
You know those like little like shoulder plushes they sell with like the magnets so they like stay on your shoulder?
We gotta get those and start wearing Tuskegee during the episode.
They're selling those at the Mammoth Arena now. They're selling Tuskegee shoulder.
Can we order those online?
I don't know, but like my girlfriend showed me, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you one of these," and I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Applause. Everyone want to take a road trip to Utah? Get a Tuskegee plushie.
I support it. I can drive us.
Yeah, thank you, because I'm not doing that. I'm not.
In the new ambassador car.
Hey, it's the perks.
The perks of buying from a hacker.
You know.
Insane. Shall we preview the final 5 games of the Celtics season? Our next episode's not going to be till after the season's over, regular season's over. Although the way we recorded the second half, maybe the season. Finals recap. So yeah, and then after, I mean, maybe we won't record right after the season finale. Maybe we'll wait till they actually have an opponent in the playoffs so we can actually preview the series. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. These are the last 5 games of the season for the Boston Celtics. Easter Sunday, 3:30 p.m. against the Toronto Raptors at TD Garden. Then on Tuesday, April 7th, 8 p.m. start time against the Charlotte Hornets. Then Thursday, the final matchup with the New York Knicks. I'm really excited to see that game because Tatum will be back for that. I'm assuming he's going to play unless they've wrapped up the 2 seed or whatever and they decide not to play him anymore. That's at 7:30 at Madison Square Garden. Then they come home for the final 2 games of the season against the New Orleans Pelicans on the 10th. That's at 7:30. Final back-to-back. So actually 13 back-to-backs this season. And then Sunday, April 12th, the season finale, 6 p.m. start time against the Orlando Magic. So of these final 5 games, 4 of them are at home. And then 1 against the New York Knicks. Jamie, what is the Celtics' final record this year? Right now, currently 52-24. 52-25, rather.
I mean, I think they go 4-1. Just because I feel like there's going to be one of those games when they're going to rest Tatum and Brown, or, we get a lineup where it's kind of all the bench guys. I definitely feel like that could happen with maybe like the Orlando game. So I feel like I'm going to go 4-1 with that being one of those games you're probably not going to see White, Brown, Tatum. Those guys are mostly just going to be resting. I mean, great if the bench goes off that night. They've shown that this year. I just feel like one of those games you're probably not going to get a full starter rotation.
Do I have the shame to bet Charles Bassey double-double against that Orlando Magic?
I think it would be wrong not to.
Yeah, I will buy us all tickets to game 1 of the quarterfinals if Charles Bassey gets a double-double. And I bet on it. I gotta add the fine print. Jack, what's the Celtics' final record?
I'm gonna go 4-1 also. I just have a feeling they're probably going to lose that game in MSG because I think the Knicks are going to treat that like their Super Bowl. And I think they're going to lose that game. But I think they're going to win everything else. But obviously there could be some randomness, in like especially that last game if they're playing for nothing and it's a Max Shulga legacy night. But I'm going to say 4-1.
Max Shulga 30 burger. Didn't RJ Hunter do that? A handful of years ago, he dropped like 30 in the season finale. I'm with you guys. I think they'll go 4-1 as well. So they'll finish the season 56-26. Crazy, by the way, because I think all of us, like, the high end of their win total before the season was like 45-47. So them getting 56 wins is ridiculous, and that does not deserve that deserves to get recognized. Yeah, I think Charles Bassey's getting a double-double in these last 5 games. He had, like 6 and 5 last night, and he only played the fourth quarter. So, hey, if he gets to start, it'd be a phenomenal way to begin the Hall of Fame resume for Charles Bassey getting a double-double against the Magic. Baylor Shireman 30 ball probably. It's gonna be quite the game. I might have to go to that game just to witness history, you know. But yeah, so we all have them going 4-1, finishing the year 56-26. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, one thing. Of the teams they could potentially play in the first round, is there a team you would want to fit? Like, you're like, yeah, this is the team I want.
Let me look at the standings again real quick just to see. So there's still a chance that the Sixers Sixers and Hawks fall into the play-in. So I'll include them. I think the team I want to face the most from this team sucks, the Celtics will boat race them. Please let the Heat win 2 games in a row. Oh no, they can only finish 8th. So never mind, they won't play in the first round. I would probably pick Toronto.
We've lost him.
Yeah. The Canadian gods got angered by your selection.
They did. Philly still gives me if Paul George, they don't have a rule where you can't play in the playoffs if you get suspended for substances, right? So Paul George can play in the playoffs. It's playoff P. But I still think the Sixers have a talented enough roster where I wouldn't want to face them in the first round, especially while Tatum's still kind of let him get 20 games under his belt before we face Joel Embiid. So I'd say probably the Raptors, and then the Magic could still sneak into that spot. I would love to face Orlando. I don't think Orlando's maybe steals one game like they did last year, but that's a bad basketball team. Jamie, who are you picking?
Probably Toronto too. So I feel like they could get past them pretty easily.
It's just not a good basketball team. Crazy that they were the 3 seed for 3 months. Yeah. Kind of like when the Jazz were a few years ago. Jack, who's your pick?
I also lean Toronto because I think when you look at the teams they could play, it's that's a team that lacks that superstar who could take over games and really hurt you. It's Scotty Barnes is a good player, but it's he can't take over a series where as much as I love to clown on Embiid could take over a series. Or Jalen Johnson is showing those flashes in Atlanta. He could take over a series. And then the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo is probably a tier below those guys, but still better than Barnes. And Kneppel's been really good. And they're just really hot at the moment where it's I'd rather take my chances with Toronto.
Yeah. And actually the Heat aren't far enough out of the, they're only a game and a half out of the 8 seed. So they could actually finish 7th.
Yeah, but do we want to invite that devil magic?
No.
Dude, the Heat stink.
That's what we say every year. And then weird shit happens. And I know Jimmy Butler's gone. We've exorcised that demon.
I think that was the devil magic. The Heat suck. The Heat are bad. That is a bad basketball team. Idris Adebayo is not knocking the Celtics out of the playoffs. Not happening.
Well, no, but he never did. It's going to be whoever new Caleb Martin is.
Is that Pelle Larson?
Yeah, or Davion Mitchell. And it's going to get bad.
Kel Ware is going to average 29 a game in the playoffs, knock the Celtics out, sweep them. Do the Celtics have to bring back Grant Williams if the Heat sweep them?
That's the punishment.
That's the punishment, is Grant Williams has to return. Alrighty. Any final thoughts? You guys want to say your last goodbyes to me? I don't know. Like I could be dead before this episode even posts.
Honestly, I'd not goodbye Isaac because you still have to eat his shoe. So
Yeah, you can't rage quit life before you have the shoe.
I'm not rage quitting life. I'm being killed by Fenway lobster. Or the chowder aspect.
Yeah,
Of it. I don't know.
The chowder's the more dangerous element.
yeah. Or maybe you're gonna come back and be like, "These are the best fries ever," and you're just gonna be getting poutine fries every time you go to Fenway.
I'm horrified that I'll like them because it's $40. It's $40. I'm only getting it today because I got my tickets for free. That's the only reason I'm buying lobster poutine today.
Yeah, give us a
I'm gonna
breakdown.
die.
Like you need to record
going to
like
pass away.
rating 1 to 10, one bite. We need a full breakdown.
Oh, I'm doing a full-fledged food review for sure. It's happening. I don't know when I'll purchase them. I feel like I got to watch some of the game first so I can at least enjoy the fact I was at Fenway.
Imagine like the smell of a lobster poutine on one of those like 95-degree August games.
They got to throw a limited time only label on the menu. I'm going to go up and buy. I'm going to get saved. Like, there's going to be divine intervention today. I'm going to go up and be like, I'll take lobster poutine. They're going to be like, we don't have any lobster. Sorry. Be like, oh, thank God. I'll get a hot dog.
You don't know how happy that made me.
That meant more to me than them winning today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for saving my life. I'm literally just a Fenway concession worker. Anyway, that'll do it for this edition of the Hour Back Report. Again, episode 20 for Jamie and Jack. I'm Jordan. Until next time, peace out and go Seas.
We did it.